Everything's alive. Well, I think I'm alive. Happy long weekend day. I don't know why we're long weekending, but we are long weekending. So yay! Celebrate the long weekending that we're doing. Woohoo! Well, if there's no one here, I'm quickly gathering a jumper. Yeah, so the temperature just dropped 5 degrees centigrade or 10 degrees Fahrenheit, depending on your particular bent. So I had to go grab a jumper, which is a bit weird, but that's okay. Well, there goes my thrush. Don't worry about that. Don't you worry about that. Don't you worry about... Yeah, okay, so that's a reference which is both old and Australian, so probably no one gets it. That's all right. I hope everyone realises that daylight savings is kicked in Australia. I don't know what it's done in America, Venezuela, Great Britain, or Ireland. I know what's happened everywhere else. Actually, I don't. I lied about that. Aren't I a stinker? Okay, so, right. What have we got here? I tell you what, I know which one I'm going to be doing. This one. Because this guy... will I zoom in or won't I zoom in? Because there's a certain amount of risk associated with zooming in. This guy is just beaming colour at me, and I'm going to go big. That one might well be the first one done. There's also this guy here, which is looking very interesting. There's this guy here, which is looking very uninteresting. Maybe we'll go into that one first. That'll be our practice opal. There's a little bit of colour just on the end there, but that's about it, really, for those. Here. This guy, if you squint your brain, you could call it a Nobby. I think it's more realistic to call it steam opal, but you never know. And here we have a piece of pink opal, which might have a bit of colour in it. So we've got a mixed bag here today. Oh, and this guy. Actually, we're going to do this, and I've been meaning to do for a while a cab in a minute challenge. Now, for ever such a long time, Roy from Roy's Rocks has been, well, a long time ago, Roy made this thing. He said, cab in a minute. And I thought that was a kind of an amusing kind of challenge. He meant to actually make the cab in a minute, like to explain the cab in a minute, not to make the cab in a minute. But, you know, it was lost in translation, in my opinion. So I thought he was going to make the cab in a minute. And I thought that's an interesting challenge. So just right at the very start, I've changed my blade over. That means that my blade's going to be super bitey. It's going to very quickly bite into everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly get a piece of random opal, see if I can do a cab in a minute. So I'm not going to polish it. I'm just going to make the cab. So here we go. Start the clock. Where are we? 3:15. So 4:15 is when I should be finished. So I'm going to cut off the end here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to speed this up to make it easier for me. There we go. This is not how you should do it normally. Water everywhere. I know the water's to shrink. Man, the dust is flying. What am I up to? 4:07. Uh-oh. Immediately I did I did give myself 5 odd seconds extra because I had to change the speed of the machine. Okay, so stop the clock. What are we up to? 4:38. I was 15 minutes over time. There's my cab. Huh. And turn it back down again because I'm going to do something sensible now. So that's what you can make when you... I'll just quickly do some extra work on it just to make it a passable cab. This was a piece of rubbish opal. It wasn't a particularly precious one, although I've done this before. I've done these cabin a minute challenges with opals, which I thought were worth nothing, and in the end, they've turned out to be quite nice opals. So you never know what happens. What I need to do to make it a proper cab is to make sure that the back was going well. So we'll just quickly sort that out. Now, if you're wondering what the heck's going on, you've probably never been on the... Actually, you might have been on the channel before. Basically, this is an opal channel and a bird channel and a tinkering channel. So you might find an awful lot of things on this channel, but usually it's opals and birds. This is currently just an opal of no value in particular that I wanted to see how quickly I could cut it in. And so the pedant in me after I'd done the challenge is just sitting there and making it all good, even though this is absolutely valueless. I wouldn't say absolutely valueless, I would say probably valueless. I certainly picked it because it was not one that I needed to worry about breaking. But you know, when you've learned how to do a particular thing and you know how to do it well, you can't just let it fly, can you? You have to finish it off, even though... Alright, what we'll do after this is I'll just have a quick look and see if we can spot some colour, because sometimes it does happen, and that'd be fun. I've noticed also that the blade's coming loose. That's not a problem, I just need to tighten it up. Also, these stones are going into the jar at the bottom here for no other reason than they just tend to rattle around. You've seen the stones now. I'll show you a few of them. They're quite pretty. So let's zoom in so you can see there's a nice, just a little bit of colour blinking back at you. This guy here is the one to watch for. Look at him. This one here, look, I've got plenty, so that one's pretty good. Now this one here, I might cab that up at some stage. I'll do that later because I've already done something silly, and I just noticed that because I pushed it to the limit, the blade is just coming a bit loose, so I'll just delucify it. That's a technical term that I use all the time. Along with lying, which is a technical thing I do all the time as well. Okay, here we go. I was just lying, or as we like to call it, communication. There we go. Back we go. Back more we go. There we go. Turn on. So what will we do? We'll take that one that I showed you before. It's this guy here. This is the one which has got the very thin band. Pretty awesome colour. Let's take the back off it and the top off it and the side off it and see what we get. I was thinking philosophically yesterday because we covered quite a few good opals. And the deal is, if I'd have actually sliced the opals in half at the correct time, i.e. the beginning of the cut, you don't know where the cracks are at the beginning. Well, sometimes you do, but usually you don't. So if I'd have cut it open right at the very beginning, I would have had two massive opals. But as a general rule, you end up with a stone which is about 20% of the weight of the starting stone. Sounds depressing? Maybe, but that's just the opal business. Now have a look at this. We've got some nice colour that's starting to show up. Intriguingly, I am going to cut it because I think we've got two colour bars. One's diving away here and one's right on the top, so we are going to get two opals. I'm hoping I've done the right thing here, because if I haven't, I have genuinely ruined a stone. This is just a judgment call that could go horribly wrong. Let's have a look. So I've taken that off. So that bit is a nice little flashy bit. We'll leave that there. Now underneath, hopefully, is some opal. So I'm going to just carve this on the side, see what we have. Have we won or have we lost? That's not looking too hopeful, is it? But we do have something on this side, so let's give this a shot. Uh-oh. Have I made a massive mistake? Potentially. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep going over here and see if we can find the thread of where that opal starts again. I'm not losing all hope. I think there is... Oh, hang on. So look here. All right, phew. I might just carve from this side though. We might get better joy, better luck if we carve from this side. Okay, we're starting to get the colour back. Whoa, and the colour is returning to my cheeks as well. I was thinking this is quite a nice stone, pretty slam dunky. And what did I do? I snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. That's what I did. You can see that the colour's just coming back. No, that's nice. And I'll show it to you because it's nice. You see that colour that's coming through? There you are, look at that. The red's just starting to get really bright. So that's good. Yeah. You've got to make these calls sometimes, but oh, come on. There we go. You've got to make these calls, but they are such nerve-wracking calls to make. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, cut that bit off there. That probably isn't something I could turn into something, but there's two reasons why you should actually slice rather than grind. One is because of the dust. The second is that if you do make a mistake, then there is a chance that you can redeem yourself with the cast off. So I would advocate, whenever you can, right, so I'm going to straighten it out from the back, and that probably is going to lend itself to be a double-sided stone just because of the way things are. So I'm not particularly upset about that turn of events. But you should know, when we're talking about opals, usually they stick them in rings and not pendants that can be reversed. So really, double-siding the stone doesn't actually add that much more value to the stone. That's all I'm going to do for that. Let's have a look at the back. Yeah, it's not too bad. So now all I do is just zhoosh to the side, zhoosh to the side, zhoosh to the side. Now just carefully just bring those corners in. It almost took me less time than the cab in a minute that I did earlier. Not bad. About a carat, I reckon. Possibly just a little under. So there we go. Zoom in there so you can see what we've got. It's still quite white as an opal, but the colours are pretty spectacular. And I'm going to try and put it around in a spot where you can see the darn colours, because, you know, that makes it much more fun. Why will you not? Let's move the thing over to there. I reckon if we move the light to the left, it's just a hunch. But lighting is almost as important as the cutting. That's a little bit of a furphy, but There, you can see it a bit, so I'll move this light forward again. I'll move it over to here, and can you see anything? Maybe. It's frustrating because I can see it with my eyes. You can see just in the background there the colour. There you go, finally. That's the kind of thing that we're looking at. So you can see that quite easily when you're looking at it au natural. So back we go. Let's see what this guy does. I don't think this one is as big an opal by a long shot, but we'll see. Bring it in. Tink. That's why I don't like leaving things on the workspace, because it does do that. Right, let's take this face in. And what have we got? Yeah, nice little opal. Nice bit of colour there. Now I'm going to do is just shape it up a bit. I ain't messing with it anymore because it is one of those very careful opals that you've got to be careful with. There you go. Relatively small amount of messing. Relatively nice amount of opal. There you go. Beauty. There we go. You can sort of see it. I'm not going to zoom in that time around, but we'll get another opal out because we've got plenty. We've got plenty to play with. So, I'm going to do a slightly tougher one this time around. Slightly tougher. It's this guy here. Nice green band in the middle. You can see that. Hopefully that band is all the way through. If not, it's going to be a sad day. But you never know. Going to hit the front just to smooth everything out. I'm also going to hit the back just to smooth it out again. It's important to have the back just as good as the front, because when we're talking opals, we're talking gemstones, we're talking luxury items that people want to wear and brag about and stuff like that. Sorry, I'm just getting something out from underneath the thing. Goodbye. So it's like, oh yes, Belvedere gave me this in 1872. It's been a family heirloom. It was made by an Australian, Dr. Phil. Oh yes, very famous. If I might blow my own trumpet. Not sure at 1,000 subs you can say very famous. But you can, ironically, or in a funny voice, and pretend that funny voice isn't yours and go, oh yeah, they know me. Very, very funny. Yes, absolutely. What do you think? Oh yes, very famous. Oh yes, very good. But he liked it. Why doesn't anybody else? What do you think, Belvedere? Oh yes, very famous. He made my engagement ring. Oh, did he? Did I? I mean, yes. Oh yes, wonderful piece of artistry. It won the Perpompkus Award. The Perpompkus Award? Oh, what award was that? It's one I just made up. That is probably one of the best fictional awards out there, isn't it? Oh, yes, yes, indeed. So that one, that's actually quite a good colour that's come through it, but it's just a little bit lacking, and that's because I'm not prepared to bite into the face with my main weapon. So what I'll do is I will put that onto the dop stick at some stage, into the dop jar, which I've got here. These are all my opals, which I've finished, and I'm at some stage going to end up turning into opals. Those things are called rubs. Wondering whether I should do that with this guy. Having a quick look at it, seeing if I can see any opal whatsoever. No, so my opal in a minute, opal doesn't seem to have any good qualities about it whatsoever. That's a bit of a shame. What I might do is I might just face it up anyway and just say, oh yes, this has got exquisite colour. White on white. Oh yes. This is the preferred opal for Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Oh yes, it's got a mixture of all the colours in the same way when you spin one of those pinwheels. Oh yes, everyone wants them. As an aside, I make a terrible salesman, so probably I'm not doing that. There you go, nice little white stone. Totally white. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly depart from the norm and just do this clear one. I like clear stones. They sometimes exhibit some sun flash. I'm not saying they will, they just sometimes do. And so I like every now and then just having a crack at them. If it's going to sun flash, it's going to do so as a green. There's also a crack in it. That's okay because I can just cut it at the crack. We can have fun with the smaller piece. We'll facet it. So what we'll do is we'll, instead of saying this is a clear opal, we'll say, oh yes, it's a Cretaceous diamond. Oh yes, very valuable. Cretaceous diamonds, absolutely. And I'm faceting this one as well, so I think that Cretaceous diamond quip might not be all that funny, but certainly took my fancy. Thank you for the likes. Whoever did that, I appreciate it. You're very generous. So let's see if I can do a hand facet. That'd be nice. Normally people have this thing called a faceting wheel, and you basically have a kind of a weighted arm which kind of just hangs on a flat lap blade, and that's how the facets happen in diamonds and whatnot. But what you can do, of course, is wing it, which is what I'm doing. As you can see, what I'm doing is I'm basically turning it and then giving it some time, air time on the wheel, and then turning it again. So I'm getting all of these flat spots, which normally is a no-no, but if you're faceting, it's a good idea. What I've discovered doing the facets in the first place is that you just give it a go. You make the shape out of the facets, and then when it's time to polish it all up, you figure out which facets have actually worked and you use them. Of course, it helps if you have a bit of a practice die. Look at that. Gee. So just sorting it out. Part of the deal here is the fact that the stone is a little bit lopsided. So if you've got a lopsided stone, sometimes the cut goes a little bit haywire. So I'm fixing that out right now. Lopsided be gone. Alright, excellent. I'm only going to do 8 facets or so, just to give it a general idea of what's going on. Now this isn't going to look like a diamond, it's going to look like something that was, well, hand faceted. That side needs to go in a bit. That side needs to kind of roll it. I'll just roll it and then facet. Still needs a bit more extra rolling and faceting, but I'll get this side first done. Now we're getting there. Now you're just doing it like you tune a drum kit or tighten up a nut on a car wheel or something like that. Kind of sort of like opposites to opposites. Then corners to corners. So just rotating it now because it's a bit time consuming. Just trying to get that added problem off. I'll sand the rest of it off, but there we go. So what I've done is I've just, you can see how that kind of looks like a diamond. I need to just get that flat edge and then just bring that up a bit, but that looks kind of like a faceted gem because it is a faceted gem. So when you see people using faceting tools, yeah, it's much easier to use a faceting tool, real like orders of magnitude easier, but it is possible to facet with the hand. All right, we seem to have a lot of watching now, so let's give this guy a bell. Have a look at this. This is one of my risk stones, I think. It's a high risk, high reward. Either going to go well or monumentally badly. So let's give this one a zhoosh and see what we get. I'm going to move this light right over. You know, that didn't do as much as I was hoping. There we go. Okay, I see. Are you happy now? Yeah, you're happy. Good. All right. So I have my torch here, so let's find out if we've got enough. It's not a torch, it's a laser, sorry. Just going to move this out. Okay, so where does the laser go? It's the laser. Where does it go? There. I'm going to just move it down there a bit. Okay, you can see it there. Good. Behave. Alright, let's have a look. Okay, so that's sand. There's no cracking, there's just sand and a lot of it. What about this high value area? Not looking hopeful there, but what about the pink area? Gonna make it easier to see it. So if the light goes through it, I can see one crack right underneath the colour bar. There's also obviously a bit of sand there too. Right, so according to this, the sand is superficial. That's good. But the crack is definitely there. So it's going to be an interesting challenge, basically. Laser off. Right back. Here we go. So I'm going to cut through this sandy section here. So much for superficial sand. Are you translucent for 50 nanometers? That's a naughty sand. It's not too bad. It's actually quite superficial. It's just I would prefer it to be more superficial. This is the last bit right here. Let's see, where is the... Yep, we're still good. We're still good. Good. That's that sand dealt with. A piece in the centre, which we are assuming is superficial. Superficially central. Yeah, it's going to get out. Just. It's going to be a bit thin. Problem with this is that it's actually quite thin, so superficial can be a problem. Right. So here we go. We've got ourselves a nice little, it's a bit pointy. You can see that there's no sand in it now, being able to get it out. And that's just with the aid of a little bit of technology, which is a little bit more advanced than the average opal torch. It's not too much. So the only difference between a laser and an ordinary opal torch is it's just one frequency of light. So what that means is that if you've got an opal, we know that, for example, they fluoresce at ultraviolet. Sometimes, not all the time. So you know that they respond to different frequencies of light, and so what you can do is you can tune your examination of your opal to specific frequencies. For example, if it's a black opal, frequency be damned, you just get as much power as possible. So you put the green laser in. They're very powerful. For the lighter coloured opals, you can actually use these. They're nearly UV, NUV, I suppose you'd call them. 450, 400, that kind of range. And what they tend to do, look at that, beautiful. What they tend to do is that they tend to light up the entire opal because of the opal's tendency to fluoresce. And now you've got an internal light which is shining outside, which is initiated by the laser beam. So it makes life a lot easier to understand what's going on with your opal. You end up going, okay, because we have a bit of a picture of the inside of the opal, any shadows which are really sharp and defined, they are superficial shadows. Any shadows which are kind of blotchy and seem to be blocking out a lot of the opal, they're well within the opal. And you can flip the opal around to find out how superficial a shadow happens to be. Anyway. This was in my elite opal pile, and I don't know why, because I can see instantly that it's 90% sand. It's so flat that I'm not even bothering with the opal torch, you can see it. There's lots of sand just sitting in here, and I'm going, how can this possibly be a good opal? I must have seen it in the sun. There are two possibilities in my mind. One is that I saw something absolutely spectacular in here, and that is possible. Possibility number two is that I got a case of sunstroke whilst I was checking out the opals, and I was completely barking mad. And this, I was going, oh look, I see a pirate, better put that in. Yeah, yeah. So anything's possible. At the moment, I'm going with the sunstroke option because this is not looking good. Having said that, I can cut this sand off here. So that's that sand dealt with. So we might be able to get something. And, oh my, okay. If it was sunstroke, it was inspired. So there is a little bit of opal flashing through. Nice colour. I'm looking at this part. The part which is flashing also has got a lot of sand. What I'll do is I'll hedge my bets and just cut that section off. Yeah, you saw that just sliced through because there was so much sand. Just having a quick look at this piece because there was a nice bit of precious opal sitting there, but I think it's just not salvageable. It's just too much sand. But high hopes and all. High hopes he's got. High hopes he's got. High opal falutin, high hopes. Did someone explain to the ram that he really shouldn't butt a hole in the dam? Because high hopes are one thing, that you can butt a hole in a dam, but what if you actually succeed and drown yourself? I think that's one of those songs that would have a very sad ending. He had high hopes. He had high hopes, but they were misplaced in his ability to swim hopes. Now in this service we are going to remember that ram who, well, he could actually butt a hole in that dam. Oi! Shut up, you. No, you're dead. I told them. He's trying to say he's a zombie. Man, he's got high hopes. Zombie ram my bum. But ram you. So, I think a lot of people are going, oh, I'm going with the hallucination hypothesis now, after all that. Pretend there's one sheep cutting an opal and you're mad, they say. Mad I might be, that doesn't mean the sheep's not cutting my opal. That sand was unsalvageable. But we're getting there. We've got a black spot right in the middle. Just like Treasure Island, the black spot, yar. Got rid of the black spot, yar. Peg-leg Pete will not be happy. Well, I can run faster than him. Where are you? Ha 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 ha, I'm on the other side of the eye patch. Ugh. Now this opal is just hard work. Okay, so I'm gonna cut it down the middle. Once again, we've got a 0.75, I reckon, carat stone there in the end. But I don't see much precious. It's just a little flashing of blue. I'm not going to bother showing it to you because it's just not. We'll be there all night trying to get some kind of colour to show up to you. That be treasure, that be. Puh. That not be treasure. Look, that treasure gone nearly into Davy Jones' locker. Alright, so. This one's looking a little bit more hopeful. This side here. There's still a little bit of stuff in the back, but. It's booty, we beg. You shut up about booty, you'll get me demonetized. Oh, money. Pieces of eight. Shut up. Gee. Okay. Here we go, and we just go through that piece. Yar. So not bad. Okay. There's still heaps of sand at the bottom of it, and I'm wondering whether I can actually... Where is that sand? I'm going to try and grind it out rather than to cut it off. Because if I can go in with the blade. Just so you know, this is generally speaking, in the vernacular, a bad idea. Sometimes it's a very good idea. But I'm still making up my mind on whether it's a bad idea or a good idea. I'll tell you in a few minutes. I think that was a good idea. How much have we got? Oh yes, that was a good idea. Okay, what I'm going to do here is just zing here. Perfect. That's all white and not very good. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Right, so now what I can do is I can just sit here and just tidy up this final mess of an opal. Unbelievable. Not a bad size. It'll be about a carat, but it's going to be a very long carat. Look at that. Weird. G'day, Craig. Cutting an opal. Well, it's an alleged opal. It's not exactly the best one. Don't worry, I'm going to get onto a better one. Well, I'm an Australian, aren't I? Let's do a boomerang. Oh, making it into a battle boomerang. Woohoo! There you go. Ah, very good. That was actually visual effects. I didn't actually throw it. There we go. I'll try polishing up my little boomerang. I don't even know why I did that. Don't worry, I think we'll move on to something a little bit more serious now. This guy here is very thin but serious. Thin but serious. We'll take it seriously. And then we'll move on to this guy. This, I think, will be the main event. Like him. Yeah, this guy's a bit too thin to take seriously, I think. Am I going to make another boomerang? Right, I'll go and cut that bit off. Might be able to make a pointer out of that guy. There we go, nice. I take that back. It's not a bad little Opals. Am I practicing? Well, you'd think so, but I'm not. This is for realsies. Like I was doing a Opal in a minute just for funsies before. But no, this is genuine Opal. There we go. I'll zoom in so you can see it. Or can't see it, as the case may be. But yeah, you can see the genuine Opal just sitting in there. It's quite bright. It's just that the camera sucks, basically. Just evening up the sides. One of the weird things, and a bit of a tip for cutters, is that like you attempt to go into the fine blades and fine sandpapers and all that sort of stuff too early, but you'll just wear out your sandpaper. You're better off actually really hacking into the thing with care, obviously, but you're better off really hacking into it, because that actually takes time off. There you go, nice little sparkly sparkle. Not bad, but because it's so thin, half a carat I reckon. So, you know, 50, 100 bucks, not great, but not terrible. So this guy, what are we going to do with him? We'll just turn the light off, and we'll actually use the laser again, because we're going to have to do some deciderating. So I'm going to I will eventually figure out how to get this laser to properly illuminate things for us, but in the meantime, just zoom out and have a look. So, laser there, dot there, we can shine the Opal in between, and hopefully we can get... Oh, that's looking really good. Okay, so I'm going to try and zoom in, so hopefully we'll be able to see. Yep, cool. Zooming more. Okay, that's as good as we're going to get. Alright, so here's how we do a laser. Oh, we'll call it analysis. It's not exactly an analysis. But, so basically the laser goes in and it illuminates the Opal from the inside. And now all of a sudden you can see where the light is actually going outside. And you can see this part of sand here. You can see how that's kind of, you can almost see it on the outside as a result. If I flip it around and shine the light directly on that sand spot, if I can, what you'll see is that it'll darken the entire Opal. You can see that, can't you? Yeah, it almost darkens the entire opal in an obtuse kind of a way. So you know that that is evidence of deep sand, but of course it's on the opposite side, so it's not exactly deep. But when you shine it like this, the entire opal kind of lights up. And you know that there's pretty much clearness behind all here, and the only problem you've got is around here. Once again, we can look at this spot and do exactly the same trick. We can go point it at that spot and see what it does. Even pointing it at that spot, the entire opal lights up. And so when we point the opal back here, presuming we don't get that sand spot that we got before, it'll look good. Now this guy here, what is going to happen here? This guy is worrying me. I think this is the major issue. So far, so good. So there's a chance, just a chance, that sand that you're seeing there actually goes through to this part here. Let's have a look and see if we can directly kind of make a line between the... We'll try and make a sand line. If the sand line lines up directly, it doesn't shine up the opal at all. Yeah. Okay, so there's a good chance that sand spot goes all the way through. Let's see where it goes through from. Okay, what we're going to do is we are going to suspect that this thing at some point goes all the way through. Hopefully, what it's going to do is it's just going to go through at that local area. But it's a worrisome spot. It's a worrisome spot. So we will treat it with great, great respect. Hopefully we can cut around it, but that means I'm going to definitely use the blade to its full potential and slice right into there, because there's no point in mucking around with that guy. I propose that I will literally cut it across just like that, just straight across there, and I also propose that I will fix up this. I think a cushion has gone from my elaborate opal setup. How annoying. Let me see if I can find nothing to substitute. Substitute. Just to make life easier for me. Bum. And you. Bum. And everyone else. Bum. Well, it probably doesn't concern you, but it concerns me that the thing is not straight. Right. Now I notice there's a few spots, so let's get rid of said spots. Is that looking better? I think so. Alright. Back with the show. So as I was saying, treating this spot with extreme respect. I might even draw if I've got I think I've got a drawing tool over here somewhere. I'll just cut it. I'll draw with the blade. Yar! I will be drawing with the blade. So, where will we cut it? We will cut it basically. We'll cut into there. Let's do this very, very carefully and piecemeal. I'm hoping this is the right decision. Certainly worried about it. Right. So I've managed to extract a piece of clean opal. There we go. Look at that. Nice. So we'll cut that if everything goes bad. So let's just carve into this. Carve into here. Yep, so what I'm going to do is I am going to continue just into here a bit. I'm going to change tacks pretty quick though. because all we're doing is we're making sure that it doesn't go through to here, because the torch told us there was a risk. I normally don't treat sand with such respect, but this time I think it's warranted. Now I'm also getting a general feel for the sand here. It's kind of moving at an angle to the opal itself. So I think I can remove the sand pretty easily. There we go, there's that piece gone. Now, if I really wanted to, I'd give it a shot at clearing the sand, but it's so small, not worth it. Now there's this piece here. Is it confluent with the sand? I'm going to have to cut this piece down. That will clear up, which is cool. So I've got a few little pointers out of it, so that's nice. But what is it going to do here? Look, other than, you know, so we don't have to deal with my skill issues. Well, we do, but we don't have to. Still got a little bit of sand here. So, how to deal with that? Let's just take this sand off, because that won't substantially damage the stone. Go. Another one here. Good. Is that done? Right, so it's given us a few courses of action, and I think that one of them is to just slice right along here. Cleanly slice right along here. Just love it when you've got a really good opal and you make a dog's breakfast of a cut. Right? So, seems that everything's a bit boomerang themed at the moment, isn't it? What I'm doing is I'm just shining it up so that you get a general idea of what it's like. Probably should cut it in two because it's got that little piece off it. Yeah. Well, you can see what it's like. It's a nice little pinfire pattern. So the rest of the opal's going to be something like that. You know, nice little... Yeah, if I cut them, there'll be two $50 stones, basically. A pair of earrings or something. Maybe 20. Whoop. There we go. Very small piece. Has dropped into the dark, into the nether. Oh well, you didn't see that, so that's good. Right. So, nice little pointer. Maybe 0.25 of a carat, I reckon. That'll go around a setting or something like that, you know. There we go, little stone there. That's going straight into the rubs jar. Now I've got one left. We've got a tiniest bit of sand to clear here. Let's try. Got some sand on the opposite area too, so that worries me. But quite frankly, I've been able to carve off a few conciliatory pieces. So this thing it's paid itself off no matter what happens now. Now we're just into the big bucks. You want to make it $500,000 stone or something. Probably it'll be, if I'm good, it'll be a 500 stone. If I'm conservative now, yep, doing it. Now you're going, what kind of madness is this? I can guarantee you that that much material will be taken off anyway when you polish the sand out of it. So you're better off doing this and just polishing up this stone as a bonus stone. You could sit there and fret about making an opal, you know, $1,000 stone, or you could just be careful with what you do and just have a whole heap of $50 stones. 5 $50 stones is 250 bucks. That's what I've got so far. So it does add up. And this guy, there's a chance that I can get a 500 for it. So, you know, it's quite thick, so it'll sit there. It's sitting there. I reckon I'll be able to get it to 2 carats, I reckon. So, you know, 150 bucks, okay? Plus 250, 400 bucks for the lot. There you go. Nice. Maybe more. This is actually quite a good stone. So I'll think about it later. Obviously, if anyone knows about opal, they'll understand that valuing opal is probably one of the most difficult things out there. Sometimes it's $1,000 a carat, sometimes just depending what you're doing. That sand is continuing to be a pain in my butt, but we're doing okay. 1.5 carats now. And we'll be stopping soon at 1.5, I reckon. Yeah. I'm going to tentatively say that this stone, it's a little bit brighter than I expected, which is good. So yeah, 150 bucks. That's not an unrealistic estimate for the stone. As a matter of fact, I think it's an underestimate, to be honest. Around about a carat there. Okay, there we go. Not a bad little stone in the end. Let's see if we can show you what it looks like. Now naturally it's not finished yet. I'm going to be, see all those reds glinting away at you? Flip it over, there's actually some nice pin fire happening there too. So I'm still deciding what side to use. Not a bad little stone. Going into the priority pile, indeed. So, this is an interesting one because that little mark there is telling me where the colour bar is. So it's telling me it's got a weak colour bar which is worth cutting. That's just my language, not anyone else's. So I'm going to quickly turn this one stone into 2 stones because I think that's the most logical thing. I just cut off the guide. That's okay. Now there's some interesting issues. Maybe I should have, too late now. Should have maybe had a look at it, because I can see some cracking happening too. I'm going to wing it this time around, because it's not exactly it's not one of the higher value stones, so I'm not going to invest a huge amount of time. If it goes wrong, it just goes wrong. In these circumstances, what I sometimes do is I just build the cab out of hope, really. Maybe, destroy the Opal, or, my cutting equipment or something, just for the likes and views and shares. Not really, that was an accident. But even with rubbish stones, you cut conservatively, just because it's not a bad practice. Because, you might be cleaning up in the daytime, sun shines on your pieces and you go, oh, that bit's got colour in it. This sure as hell doesn't. Let's do this bit. So now we're going to colour it all in it. Or was I just talking around my hat when I said there was a colour bar in there? I'm not worrying too much about this particular stone, so it's not. If we get a nice colour bar, we get a nice colour bar. If we don't, well, we had fun cutting it into ribbons. Yeah, it's shot the whole way through. Like, if this was a really good opal, it'd be worth just taking a bit of time with it, but so far I haven't seen a single shred of colour on it, so I'm not going to worry too much. But you'll notice that I sliced pieces off it anyway, and you'll have a look at the size of the cab in the end. That's the advantage of slicing, and slicing early. It really is quite a conservative way to cut an opal. Right, so I propose to cut one more nice stone. Then I'm going to explore a lightning ridge piece of opal, and then we're going to look at the birds. So we're nearly at the end of tonight's entertainment, but we're still going. There you are, look at that beautiful nothing stone. Yay! That's going into the jar. So let's see what nice stones. I've got this one, which is subtle. I've got this one, which is a risk. I've got this one, which is just screaming at me. But it's very small. I've got this one here, which I'm just curious about. Or I've got, okay, this one. Why I'm doing all the noises is because there's nice colour. You saw how it was clipping the camera just down there at that point. So let's find out if it's worth all the effort. And if this one ends up being worth all the effort, I might forego the Lightning Ridge stone, because it might take a lot out of me to get this one up to speed. Interesting how it's got all that muck right in the middle of it. A lot of the Cooper Pedy material is fossilised opal, and that is indicative of fossils. You tend to have lots of sand in them. Once again, I'm cutting conservatively, cutting right along that sand line. So I noticed that there was kind of a tendency of the opal to just be a sandy monster at this point and then clear itself up. Is that the one? I don't think it is. In 5 seconds to find where I've dropped the darn thing. There you are. Good on you. So, okay, I'll cut the sand off this bit. I think that was worth doing. If only just to get an idea of the direction of the sand. Because, to me, I think the sand tends to lay itself down in sheets. So, if you can figure out the direction of the sheet, you can actually angle your opal. And when you're clearing the sand out, you actually get a good clean diagonal line, which can get you several opals. In this case, not going on with that one. Yoink. We're going to finish with this guy. If I can find out where the colours happen to be. It doesn't look like the previous opal though, does it? That's not it either. That's not it either. But we're going to cut this one because it's looking really interesting. Sorry for the quick change in tempo, but you'll see what I mean. I wasn't sure that particular opal was the same one, and I didn't want to waste time because there was a bit of sparkle in the other one, and I couldn't see the sparkle. You just watch and you'll understand. Hopefully, anyway. Just sorting the back out. Now, as I say, occasionally if you sort the back out correctly, it might be more spectacular than the front, and that's okay. You can do that. You can have a spectacular front or back or whatever. I'm getting tired, basically. So you can see that the colour's starting to shine through. It's just a case of, will the sand happen or will the colour happen? And this thing is opal, well, sand, opal, sand, opal. So there's a little bit of a sandwich situation happening here. Let's keep going this side now. Yep, now this opal is razor thin and I'm just cutting the sand out from the middle of it. If you can, half your luck. What am I going to do with this piece? I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to carve along this section. There we go. So that bit was more sandshot than I realised. But this piece, I can still do something with it. Got to be a little bit lighter than my normal self because it's a bit. So this is only good for inlay or doubleting or something. It's a bit of a shame. But that comes with the territory sometimes. I'm hoping to just get some of that sand out. Come on, you can do this. Okay, the sand's on this side, which is good. Yeah, I'm just gonna. There we go. 2 more pieces. Probably just cut it there. Yep. Cut it there. So it's really thin. That's how they make inlay opals. See that? It's really nice, but it's just really thin. And if it'll probably be hydrostatically able to stick onto something here. There we go. Look at that. I'll use this one. Do one last effort to find the opal that I was trying to work with before, and then we will call it an evening. Wonder what happened to it. That's a bit annoying. So there. That is it. Found it. Good. So here we go. Just trying to end us on a win, really. So you can see, if we zoom in, you can see that well, you can't actually. Let's try. There we go. You see how the colour goes and extends almost to the back of the stone. We've got the front here, and we've got this area here. So we'll carve this back until we start seeing colour. No colour yet. Oh, I think it's getting close. Got to get rid of that sand though. Okay, I think that sand's not going to be a problem, which is good. Excellent. So we've got this side. Going to carve in a bit. See if we can actually do a better prediction of where the colour's going to begin and end. So let's go and carve this in. Oh, that's good. So the colour, I just need to carve this corner a bit. We're nearly there. Just being cautious and conservative, just making sure that we get the colour. We're starting to get a few glimmers of hope. Yep, it's starting to poke through now. We're just going to keep going with the gentle exploration. More on that side. Nearly poking through to the back there. More on this corner. Poke it through. think it's good enough to just start working the colour band off. So I'm going through the bottom just so that you know, because there was already a piece going. German Empire, guten Tag, mein Freund. I think, Freund? Yeah. Everything's good, my friend. We have a long weekend coming up. I don't know if the rest of the world has a long weekend. I don't know what we're celebrating. I think we're celebrating daylight savings. And you've just come in time to see a nice opal come through. Nice opal. Here we go. Oh, there's some nice colour coming through there. Good, good. Okay, so this is going to be the Kingstone. I didn't expect it was going to be the Kingstone, but it will be, because it's just coming through. It's nice and thick. It's nice and good with the colour. Yeah, this guy is just, oh, look at him. Beautiful. Now that's what you like to see. That's what you like to see. Now I'm just going to just take some corners off, easy as you like. Just try and mitigate the slope that's happening over here. But that shouldn't be too hard to do. Just, I might have to take more opal off than I like, but that's probably the norm. There we go, look at that. Beautiful little opal. What an opal to finish this off with, huh? Look at that. I love it when you've got these opals that basically tell you life is good. Look at you. Look at you glinting away, you little rascal. There we go, look at that. Nice, nice. Really nice. Did I mention this is nice? Yeah, that'll be about 2 carats. It's quite thick. It's nice to have a good backing. Not like that other one that we had, which was just ending up being way too thin. There you go, that's a nice kind of size. Just have to take that corner off, which is not ideal, but you must be pragmatic about these things sometimes. Right. There we are. Now, it doesn't have to be perfectly circular. It just has to be beautiful like that. And I will put it onto the drop stick and I will make it into something absolutely spectacular. And I am happy with that one. That's a good thing to finish on. That is a high note. Okay. I'll put it over here. Turn the water off. Ugh. Okay, let's go see how these birds are doing. Ugh. Whoa, I've been sitting down for a bit too long, I reckon. Ay, caramba. Looky. Nope, wrong way. That way, good. How you doing, Lokes? You dropped a feather. What a feather to drop. You dropped a primary. Ugh. Hello, Jackson. I do remember you. You came at a time when a primary dropped from Loki. So I don't know all of the feathers, but basically I'll get Loki out and I'll show you. This feather is going to go over here because I have a little place where I keep them all. Loki, do you want to step up? Come on. There we go. So I'm just going to show the people the feathers, all right? I'm going to get some food for you. All right, so we'll first show what the feathers are like. Right. Okay, Loki. Are you ready, my darling? All right, wings. There, see the feathers there? Right. Now, can I just hold out one of your wings for me? So let's go over to here. All right, so right at the end here, these are the primary feathers. Right. These guys are the secondaries. And over the front here, hopefully I'm not going to get bitten because she's very sensitive here. Those are the coverts. So all of the flying is done basically with these primary feathers. You can see 4 there. There's usually 4 or 5. And when I first got Loki, she had some real issues with her feathers, didn't you? And she's still a bit nervous about it all. Oh, that's something there. There you go. She sort of does. She's a little bit lazy, this one. So do you want to give us a high 4? Give us a high 4. High 4. Good bird. Right. What are the other ones we do? Oh, we shake hands, don't we? Yeah, so shake hands. How do you do? Okay, do you remember turning around? Yeah, there you go. Good. There you are, scratchy scratch. Yeah. All right, Max. You can't do all the tricks though. Do you want to come here? Come here. She doesn't want to because she's just being a bit lazy. All right, come on, step up. Good bit. Away we go. She'll happily hang around in here. There you go. Enjoy. All right, Maxie Bubba. What have we got? Have we got a little scratchy stick around here somewhere? No, you just have to put up with my hands, I think. Max, you're not going to like that. You can get out if you want. Do you want to get out? Yeah. Well, this one is extremely scared. This one had a few issues. Like it's a rescue basically. Won't go into it, but doesn't trust humans at all. So to be able to even for him to give me permission to touch him at all is amazing. I was expecting this bird to just be a bird that stayed in a cage. I wasn't expecting him to be a part of the family. There we go. But yeah, all of the kids love this one, and he interacts reasonably well with them. The kids just know how to not get bitten, basically, and they're not going to do anything too outrageous with Max. But Max will play with them, and generally speaking, they won't touch each other, but won't necessarily not. Hang on, I'm getting it for you. Don't bite me, because I'm getting a pin out, okay? This is a pin feather, by the way. You can see that pin feather in there. Here we go. Got it. How's that feel? That was a bit gluggy. What was going on with that pin feather, mate? What's going on with it? Felt a little bit unusual. Yeah, cultivating trust with birds is actually quite difficult. It takes skill in its own right to do it, and I don't blame people for not looking after birds properly. It frustrates me, but I don't blame people because, well, when you get a bird, as a general rule, they don't give you a manual, and people aren't required to, look up how to look after a bird. They just get a cage, a bird, away you go, some seed. It's probably not advisable because these things. What's going on there, mate? What's going on there? I'm just going to use the camera features here to find out. I thought I saw something black. No, I think so. Yeah, I'm going to have a look there, mate. Yeah, I know. It's sore, isn't it? What is it that's there? That's because occasionally I scratch you there and you bite at exactly that spot. Yeah. I know. It hurts, does it? I'm going to have to look. We won't do it immediately. We'll wait till the people have gone, okay? It's all right. Oh, really? Really? Don't worry, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm not gonna hurt you. Okay. You really don't like that, do you? That's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Come on, up you get. Do you want to get out or not? Come on. I'm not here to talk to you. Here we go. All right. So, yeah, it's all right. It's unfortunate. Oh, you want... Oh, I see. Yeah, fair enough. It was very frustrating. He's trying to tell me something. Because, I gave a treat to Loki, and I didn't give a treat to him. And so, at the end, when I went and got... when I scratched it... All right. Here you go. There you go. Oh, you're being a bit snooty. Well, that's interesting. What's wrong, my friend? What's wrong? He's really he's out of sorts today. Right, do you want me to scratch your ear? Do you want to scratch the ear? Come on. What? Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, I know. Well, I'll go find you one of those. But I've got to... Yeah, all right. He wants his beak to be scratched and he wants his ear to be scratched and he wants all those things done. Is that right? Yeah, I'll sort you out. All right. Hey, Loki. Scratchy patch. Yeah, I know. There's something there. I know. We've got to deal with it. We deal with it because that will solve things. Okay? Yeah. Making the little throaty sounds. Cute little thing. There you are. All right. I'll go quickly to Pony. Hello, Pony. There you go. I'll give you some more food. You're a bit squashed on food. I know you want some attention, don't you? That's about 50,000 decibels, I reckon. And you can hear that. That is a wild call. That's what you hear in the wild. Oh, you've called my daughter down now. All right, what I'm going to do is we're going to finish up here. Thank you very much for watching me cut opals and watching me look after birds. There's Max in the background still going, pay attention to me, pay attention to me. Right, so, hello, just finishing off here. So if you've enjoyed your time here, hit the like button on the way out and the subscribe button if you are so inclined. Have a lovely evening, if it is indeed evening. If it's in America, it's probably morning by now. Screw America. Oh, yeah. Oh, there goes my fan base. All right. All right. Have a nice evening. Dr. Phil out.